amount of state resources that the State House is spending on that fake program known as Rigathi disparaging campaign that is going on, that money should be used to pay the striking doctors, and even if possible, pay some medical bills to Kenyans who are stranded in some hospitals, or rather disperse it to counties. Because what we seem not to understand, that instead of these sideshows, that the State House is spending public money to run a campaign of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua, they have the shortest route to go to Parliament, bring that document head on, so that you use your numbers and impeach Rigathi so that the country can move on. If President Ruto believes and feels that impeaching Rigathi Gachagua is a priority to the voters of Republic of Kenya. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Allow me quote a comment I saw from one of our subscribers here, Simon Gadhogo. There are many people who do not like Gachagua, but they're also not very ready to support an impeachment driven by haters, branding others as snakes and spending most of their time in aircrafts and helicopters when Kenyans are languishing in poverty. Nyani Hauni Kudule. I got that comment from one of our viewers here, and I really concur with what he's saying. I analyzed previously about the 7 charges that are leveled around Rigathi Gachagua: flimsy, clumsy, and shallow, below threshold. This newspaper here is detailing a story that I want us to look at. I want you to look at this. Uhuru Gachagua secret phone calls. I just want to get it here. It is actually what is in this news. I hope it's something visible. Uhuru Gachagua secret phone calls. From this article, it is understood that when the son of Madeira, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, realized things were becoming hot, he has been making multiple calls to the president, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and his close associates. Uhuru Kenyatta has been spending time in the US for some time. Has Rigathi have tried to reach out to Uhuru, and Uhuru had advised him about a number of issues that I want us to look at. But this story is also saying that there is an intel team that have been spying on Rigathi Gachagua's calls and then taking those calls to the president so that the president can make some necessary actions. Rigathi is believed to have told Uhuru Kenyatta that William Ruto wants to kick him out before 2027, and even if he survives such an impeachment move, he is likely going to be dropped as the running mate in the next general election. And there is that which Uhuru Kenyatta has advised Rigathi, and all of this were told to Uhuru, to the president, and why the president is now running a campaign against his deputy. And I don't know, let's listen to what Uhuru said, according to what they're saying there, so that we find out, is it a bad advice or is it a good advice? Uhuru advised the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to unite the Gema region so that they can bring a Kamba in the fold. Now, Ikamba, Gikuyu, and Meru share one ancestry. So Akamba is part of the traditional Gema. The Gema, the Gikuyu, the Embu, the Meru, and Akamba, which comes from the word Ikamba. And so, the merger between Kamba and Gema is, that reunion is very possible. That is an advice that Uhuru Kenyatta gave to the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. I want us to just look through what exactly has been going on. And Senator Medhu, 2 weeks ago, some 3 weeks ago, was advising Rigathi that in the spirit of broad-based, you also need to go out and look for friends.
Wakirinyaga, sorry. Naitwa Mrango. Na sisi kama masenators yote ya Mlima Kenya, sisi tumeungana na tumeshikana. Wakati shida itatokea, haitatokea kwa masenata ya Mount Kenya. Tumeungana na tumeshikana nyuma ya kiongozi yetu. Nyuma ya kiongozi yetu. Nyuma ya kiongozi yetu. Kiongozi yetu ya kutoka hapa Mount Kenya. Anaitwa Mheshimiwa Rigathi wa Gachagua. Hiyo ndio msimamo yetu kama senators wa hapa na kama viongozi wa hapa, kwa sababu hatuna kiongozi mwingine ambaye tumepatiwa kwa wakati huu. Na mimi Your Excellency nikiwa nimekaa hapa, nilikuwa nafikiria kwa sababu sisi wote, hata Mheshimiwa Aaron Cheri yote anajua, tumeamua tusaidie na tutengeneze serikali. Hata President William Ruto amesema ikuwe broad based. Hata yule mtu tulikuwa tunashindana na yeye anaitwa Raila Odinga ameingia ndani. Sasa mimi nataka nikuulize, ile mitego tulikuwa tumetega tutegue, unajua inaweza shika marafiki yetu, ile mitego tulikuwa tumetega huko mbele. So na wewe utafuta marafiki wengine, kwa sababu iko marafiki wameshikana pale, na wewe tafuta marafiki wengine, shikana na wale wengine, wale wadogo wadogo. Ukikutana na Kalonzo Musyoka, shikana na yeye akuwe rafiki yako. Ukikutana na yule mtu mwingine wa Tawe, shikana na yeye akuwe rafiki yako. Ukikutana na mtu mwenye na wabunge wawili watatu, shikana na yeye akuwe rafiki yako. Mtu mmoja tu ndiye tunaweza kuambia usisumbuke sana.
So that was already a signal to the handlers of Ruto that Rigathi could still get out. And let me tell you, the move by Rigathi Gachagua to now consolidate the Gema is something that rattled Ruto, because the understanding of Ruto, the script of Ruto was, if I enter into that broad-based mongrel by Raila, then I shall have killed Azimio la Umoja. And if I kill Azimio la Umoja, then I've also killed a potential presidential candidate from that place. So if Rigathi is to form an alliance with the Akamba where Kalonzo is, then Rigathi is giving William Ruto a competition. I've always been saying that Ruto just needs a formidable candidate who can run a campaign that, Mr. President, what you are doing is wrong. Just that. That is what this country needs. So long as you get that, you get your way. Now, the Intel team had been spying on Rigathi Gachagua's calls and tipped William Ruto, and that is why the president quickly hashed a scheme to unleash the state machinery so that Rigathi Gachagua can be isolated. And it is highly informed that this is the basis of the current impeachment that is in the offing. But let's look at how it was executed. It's very important so that you understand how the leaders that you really believe are good people, the way those leaders behave. And before that, I want us to listen to Waititu. When Waititu was campaigning for Kalonzo, Waititu has been hanging around Kalonzo, and he seemed to be really running the campaign of Ruto has messed Mount Kenya. And the president handlers believe that that is part of that campaign of kicking Ruto out of Central Kenya. So
iti ya Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki sio mwingine ni Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Na sisi watu wa Mount Kenya, watu ya Gema, tunatambua Kibaki sana. kwa sababu Kibaki ndiye alileta masomo ya bure. Ama hamjui? Hii inaitwa kondokundu, donyokundu, hiyo barabara ile, si ndio? Hiyo muradi ililetwa na Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka na Mwai Kibaki. Ukienda Nairobi, ile bypass yote ililetwa na Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka na Mheshimiwa Kibaki. Hizi mobile, hizi simu munaona hizi, kabla Mheshimiwa Kalonzo akuje na Kibaki, simu ingepatikana na mtu ambaye hana 1,300. Yule mtu alileta maisha ya simu ikawa ni ya kila mtu, ni Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka na Mheshimiwa Kibaki. Mtu ambaye tumeona akiongoza serikali kwa utulivu, anaongea polepole, anakueleza polepole, alikuwa Mheshimiwa Kibaki. Na vile Kalonzo unaona akiongea hivi, sisi wote sasa tunataka atuongoze na hiyo sauti nyororo na akili mingi na tena na ukweli bila udanganyifu wowote, na mtu ambaye amekuwa tested kwa uongozi kwa miaka mingi. Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka amekuwa waziri.
How did it happen? I'm going to explain this, how this happened. Then I'll tell you the second advice that, according to what these writers are saying, what Uhuru advised Rigathi. A number of Mount Kenya MPs, and these ones that you are seeing organizing these two meetings. You know, there have been two meetings. There was a meeting that was organized in there's a parliament. They made the decision in a parliamentary group meeting held in a hotel in Embu, and sources averred that every MP who attended the meeting received 200,000 Kenyan shillings allowance directly from State House. The MPs also thanked Ruto for appointing Justin Muturi, Kindiki, Eric Muga for water, and because they came from East. Those present included Mpure Buri, Tigania East, Elizabeth Karamu, Women Rep Meru, Geoffrey Ruku, Mbeere North, John Mutunga, Tigania, John Murigi, Igembe, Senator Alexander Mudigi, Embu, Dan Kili, Igembe Central, Gitonga Murugara, Tharaka-Nithi, Pamela Njoki, the Embu Women Rep, Kareke Mbiuki, Mara, and Mugambi Buri. Now, those were the MPs that attended the Embu meeting. So, a meeting was done in Embu, and then there was that other one in Nyahururu that was convened by Kimani Ichung'wah. But before that, majority of these MPs were given very lucrative deals and tenders. They got a way of getting good deals. There have been so many projects, government projects going on. So that was the trap that was set. Do you remember when Rigathi Gachagua was saying that Mwangi Kiunjuri is using his name so that he can get the tender from Kenya Power? If you remember that story. Rigathi said in one of his events, he said that Mwangi Kiunjuri is just after him because Mwangi Kiunjuri wants to please the president because he wants the tender of supplying some poles to Kenya Power. So that was the trap that was set for them. So they were given these tenders through some parastatals, some through the ministries, some through different means, so that they are gagged. Then from there, the manipulation, that was the manipulation tool. So the Mount Kenyans, those MPs have sold, they are talking for their soul. I said in this podcast, I said we will just be speaking the truth. I'm one analyst who, when Rigathi is wrong, I say Rigathi is wrong. When Ruto is wrong, I say Ruto is wrong. When Raila is wrong, I say Raila is wrong. When Uhuru Kenyatta is not right, I say Uhuru Kenyatta is not right. That's it. And I tell you what is very clear, that no one is fighting for the interest of the Mount Kenya in all this shenanigan. So, after that, if you have given this tender, then you are put in a trap because you now have to, now to protect your interest, and your interest in that tender. After that, they've now been put and given some very strategic, some very few deals here and there. Now look at these three incidences today. Not today. I think all of them are today, yes. In State House, and if I just want to confirm to you, that it is State House that is the machinery behind all this. William Ruto met a host of MPs from Nyeri. It's here. He met Nyeri MPs without the governor and without a single cabinet secretary. This is what they said. Oduor's Mwai Kibaki Hospital, an annex of Kenyatta Hospital, will be gazetted as a parastatal with a board and an independent budget. This elevation will ensure the health facility is fully equipped to enable it play its rightful role in the provision of universal health coverage that begins next month. Met Nyeri MPs, State House Nairobi, and discussed the government's road, stadia, fresh produce markets, and water programs in the county. Now, so if you meet county leadership, now this is the Nyeri leadership, you can see a number of these MPs, you can see the MPs, and the only person who is not there is the women rep. So two people who are not there is the women rep and the governor. So you can see the senator, you can see a number of MPs, Kieni MP, you can see Tetu MP, you can see all of them. So that is what is going on. These MPs, Ruto met them in State House without the governor, and then there is something like he's lobbying for some development. You might really look into this. I might do some analysis later on this meeting and what you can really gather from this meeting. I've always believed these meetings, if it is elevating Oduor's Mwai Kibaki Hospital into a parastatal, then is that one a lobby by the MPs? He just wants the people to feel like he's now met those MPs, and those MPs have lobbied, and that decision has been made there without even consulting more. But I think that is something that was in government's plan. So he just met those MPs to make that declaration so that the MPs will take credit that when we went to the president, we came back and we found out that we managed to convince the president for Mwai Kibaki Hospital to be a parastatal. Guys, sometimes some politicians, you know, you can't be that petty. Sometimes I'm like, what kind of people? What kind of people are this? Now, the second one is Njuri Ncheke. Njuri Ncheke also met today, and they declared that Kindiki is the leader of the region.
Njuri Ncheke ya Meru ambayo iko na kaunti mbili, Tharaka Nithi na Meru County. Tumekutana hapa Njero headquarter yetu ya Njuri Ncheke ya the old Meru, ndio tumuendorse ama ndio tuseme Kithure Kindiki ambaye wanafanya kazi vizuri na rais wetu mpendwa Daktari William Samoei Ruto. Alafu tuko na kiana yetu, mtoto wetu wa kuzaa wa kutoka Meru ambaye ni Kithure Kindiki ambaye ni waziri wa usalama wa Kenya yetu. Siku ya leo Njuri Ncheke in the numbers wamemuendorse kama kingpin wetu, kama spokesman wetu ambaye atakuwa link kati yetu Mount Kenya East, atakuwa link yetu kwa president, ndio tutakuwa tunatuma, ndio tutakuwa tunatumia, na tunamuomba waongee na rais ndio atuletee maendeleo kama sehemu zingine za Kenya yetu. Tumemuendorse tuwete kanero. Asante sana. Njuri Ncheke imesema hivyo, na Njuri Ncheke ikisema imesema, hakuna mwingine wa kuenda tofauti na vile tumesema.
Namba 2, wazee wa Njuri Ncheke ya Meru na Tharaka Nithi wameangalia wakaona Profesa Kindiki amepita mtihani ya Njuri Ncheke, kwa sababu Njuri Ncheke ina support serikali yenye iko, na mzee wetu Profesa Kithure Kindiki ako mstari wa mbele kusupport President William Ruto katika malengo yake katika Jamhuri ya Kenya, na ndio maana tumemchagua na tumemteua leo kwamba yeye ndiye atakuwa nyota yetu, ndiye atakuwa linki ya region hii yote, linki ya region ya Mount Kenya East na Mount Kenya West, na Kenya mzima mahali anatembea kufanya kazi atuwakilishe vizuri, tukiendelea na serikali ya Mheshimiwa William Ruto.
I've failed to understand, maybe someone, and I'm comfortable, I really want someone to explain to me this position of a link between government and the people. I don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it, because what is Kindiki going to do different if today the Minister for Roads was in Parliament and he said that with the current budget we have, for us to do these roads that Kenyans are asking for, it will take us 15 years. So we don't have money for build all these roads and the study and all this that we're promising, but we seem to be telling people that we get a link. So if you get a link, get Kindiki, then we're going to get it. If Ruto is meeting Nyeri MPs directly, he's meeting Nyeri MPs directly. Did I see Kindiki in that meeting? No, Kindiki is not even in that meeting. Even Rigathi is not in that meeting. So Ruto himself talks to these people directly. Which are this position of link? I've always not gotten it. Another incident was MCS drawn from 12 counties met in Murang'a today and also unanimously endorsed Kithure Kindiki as the kingpin, or rather their spokesperson. Now, are you seeing that all this is done? Who can be able to mobilize MPs from 12 counties? Do you want to believe there is a single governor from this country who can do it? If it is not just a big office, apart from Raila Odinga, who have more counties can bring MCS in more than those 10 counties. Apart from Raila Odinga and probably Kalonzo Musyoka, who has a party, there is MCS probably. Who else? For those MPs to converge, they must converge under a bigger umbrella, because a governor do not have an umbrella. You don't want to tell me that Kindiki have all the connections to bring them together, and not even Ichung'wa. It must be William Ruto. But that is what is going on. So the first thing that the first advice that the first thing that the one thing that Uhuru Kenyatta told Rigathi is to unite and bring in the Akamba. The second issue, and this was now in form of a warning. Before I tell you that, I told you that three things happened. Number one is the State House meeting with Nyeri MPs. The other one is Njuri Ncheke endorsing Kindiki. The other one is MCS drawn from 12 counties in Mount Kenya, also endorsing Kindiki. And then MPs have also been de-whipped not to host Rigathi. So for Rigathi to, nowadays Rigathi has reduced those events in Rift Valley. He only now attends the funerals. So it's not very easy for him to be hosted, Some of them have been done. Now, Uhuru Kenyatta is also telling Rigathi that the President William Ruto will drop him in 2027 and pick something else and pick someone else by just one objective. Just one objective. Just the best way to get himself out of that is to converge around the Jubilee Party. Is it viable? Is that a good one? Oh, tell me. Would you advise Rigathi to converge around UDA, around Jubilee? I have my advice around that, but I want to hear your point before nimalize hapa turekodi na peana. I'll also give my advice to Rigathi on this point, that should think. But I've seen the Jubilee orphans, the Sabina Chege and the other gentleman. I've seen them, quite some of them, trying to attack Rigathi left, right, and center. But Sabina Chege have kept off and has not been part of that. Now, sometimes I say Mount Kenyan MPs don't get it right, because Ruto is planning to keep the mountain chaotic until 2027 to stop Uhuru Rigathi from shepherding the region behind one presidential candidate. Of course, there is something that I'm even wondering, those who are calculating Rigathi's impeachment, they are also not very wise. Because if we impeach Rigathi today, he cannot vie in the next general election. And if he is not vying, then he will have no option but to get out and support another candidate and hit William Ruto from outside. If he is not vying, of course he will be out. And if he will be out, he will have no option but to retaliate by supporting another candidate. So even those who are thinking about that impeachment, and I just don't know where they are getting. I just don't know whether they cannot also not make sense of that, because that is also one of the dangers in it. Now, I want to put my put up what I think should be the next move for Rigathi, just in the wake of all this. What I think should be the next week, the next big thing for him. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. The first thing, Rigathi should go and address Mount Kenya, should go out, not even Mount Kenya. He should now go out and speak about people issues. In fact, I've been sampling comments here, and when I sample comments in our videos, what Kenyans are saying here is, this issue of impeachment is a non-issue. We want the leadership to speak about the real issues that are concerning the people. There is a concern. The lecturers are on strike. They started their strike today. As we talk, the transition from NHIF to SHA is taking place on 1st of October. So the staff that were working under NHIF are not even sure whether they will be ready, they are going to be absorbed. And those who are members of NHIF that are now joining SHA, they're not sure whether they're still going to be to get the benefits. As we speak now, the counties are yet to receive money. As we speak now, the country is worried about the rate of inflation and unemployment. Now, those are the things that they should be talking about. In fact, all these leaders that are telling the voters or the public about, we want this link between Ruto and I don't know who, this Ruto and the people. One thing they're not telling you here is, what is this link for? Because the era of, I've constructed 10 kilometers of road and 10 buildings in form of schools and 5 hospitals without drugs, that era is gone. The people are questioning the policies. The people are questioning the national policies. Are they responsive to the needs of the people? The other thing that Rigathi can do, of course, that will endear him to the public. Because one thing that these people understand is, tukimtoa Mount Kenya tumemaliza. So you need to go out. I agree. You need to go out and stop talking about Murima. Go out. The Kenyans people are gonna listen to what you're saying, so long as you stop talking about Murima. The second thing is Rigathi to expose mistakes, Ruto mistakes through whistleblowers. Yes, that's how you block government from within. Raila used to do it. Raila did it between 2013 to 2017. Hey? And by the time people are getting to 2027, Ruto alikuwa na shida. Not Uhuru. Uhuru had problems. Because Raila had really done the grassroots work. And again, the other thing is he must change from the confrontational messaging. Now, the Kimani Chungwas wants to address him, want to address Rigathi so that they exchange. I think one thing that Rigathi should do is just avoid that exchange. Wacha kubishana na Ichungwa. Focus. And you change that messaging to one of, Sina Shida, so if you guys want to do what you do, you do. Then Kenyans will start making sense. But if you engage in the confrontations, then people will see the shenanigans as this is just another script. And lastly, shopping for a political party would, for me, make better sense than going back to Jubilee. For one reason. Jubilee also had baggage. And UDA is also having baggage. So you must think through. A Jubilee backed with Wiper is just a reincarnation of Azimio, which was dead. And a reincarnation of Azimio without Raila, it will be a perception that there is a dead Azimio. But if you have a different coalition with a new party that you've formed and you work around it, probably you can get a formidable ticket to face Ruto in 2027. Thank you.